Hey, hello everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in on to today's broadcast of Breakthrough TV. My name is Mesh Madolo and I'm the editor at Breakthrough Newsletter. Thank you once more for joining us on today's episode. Now, a lot of Christians presume that because they are Christians, they're exempted from difficult and painful circumstances, from attacks of any kind and from failures. But remember, for every precious stone that we see, for every gem, for every gold, for every diamond that we see, it means it endured some time under the fire being purified. If gold or diamond could testify about the fires that they endured, if a pearl could testify about the discomfort it endured, we would know that nobody is immune, but how you respond to the fire, it is very important. And God says in Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 that whenever you go through the deep stormy seas, you can count on me, I'll be there with you. When you go through the raging rivers, you will not drown. When you go through persecutions like fiery flames, they will not burn you. And that assurance on its own, it just tells us that whatever that we go through, whatever is thrown at us, even if it hell breaks loose on us, whatever is that we're encountering, it just assures us and comforts us and gives us hope that our God will be with us. Now, our guest for today is not immune to difficult circumstances, to painful circumstances as well. She has her own share of things that she went through, and she will tell us more about that. All I can tell you is that I personally experienced and I saw how she moved from being diagnosed with brain tumor and enduring it all until successful rehabilitation. She will tell us more though about her journey, because I only know what is on the surface, but deep within, it's what she and her family had to endure. What I can tell you about her is that she's a mother, she is a wife, she is a sister, she is a daughter, and she is a nursing manager. Let us welcome everybody, Genny Fords. Hello. Hi, Genny.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having me.
There's so much I want to ask from you. There's so much that I need to know. But before we can ask questions, just tell us about yourself. Who's Genny Fords?
Genny Fords is just a person that I'm from Matat. I'm born and bred in Matatiela. I live here now. Yeah, I've just been fortunate. I could study, so that helped me. I got a good job. I got an awesome family. That's me.
Wow, thank you so much. Now we on today's episode, our episode basically it is centered around giving hope to everyone that goes through a difficult time. Perhaps it can be a diagnosis, and sometimes it can be a terminal illness. Now our episode today, it is centered around that, in giving encouragement to everyone, to a family member, to a person that is going through or that has been diagnosed with something that they don't understand. Like, how do I even begin to actually accept this? So now, before we can continue, can you tell us about your journey? Because like I said, you were once diagnosed with brain tumor. Like, now you are well, you are perfect. Can you tell us about your journey, how it happened, and how did you feel? Do not leave any stone unturned. We want everything.
Okay, I'm trying to remember all the way back, but yeah, that was in 2016.
Mhm.
So I got up one morning with a headache, continuous headache. But you thought, it's a headache, I'll get over it. So it went on for 6 weeks. And now you take tablets, I'm a nurse, so you treat yourself all the time. Then the one morning I got up and I was blind in my one eye. I couldn't see at all. So then I thought, okay, now it's beyond you. You need to move. So I went to work. I still didn't clear. I went to my GP and he was horrified. Like, you sat so long with this headache. Anyway, checked my eyes. He said, no, there's definitely bleeding in the one eye. So he referred me You know, it was amazing. He referred me to a specialist that's normally fully booked, but he said to my GP, because it's a problem with the eye, I will attend to her, send her now.
Okay.
So we went with my husband, we went to the eye specialist. We got there, the other eye started losing sight.
Mm.
As we walked into his office, everything started getting gray. Then we sat down, he did the scans, and lo and behold, the eyes were full of blood,
Mm. Mm.
and and I couldn't understand it. I was never ill, but anyway, he then said, "No, I have to go to Durban urgently. I need to attend a neurologist." Okay, he phoned the neurologist. Neurologist said, "No, send her now because it's unusual at my age." So we went through to Durban. Get to Durban, I couldn't see at all. Complete loss of sight. They admitted me. They did the scans, only to find there was a mass on the brain at the back of my head. So they weren't sure what exactly it was. But then my neurologist consulted. He said, no, it looks like it could be blood clots on your brain. So what they're doing is they now pressing on the eye nerves, and that's why the eye can't see. However, because now doctors are they give you the worst case scenario, he said, because of your age and because we don't know where it's coming from, chances are you might not see again.
Mm.
Okay, so as he's telling me this, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm a health worker. I'd say that to somebody, but I'm also a Christian, and no one's going to tell me you're going to take my eyesight away. You are not God. So I said to him, Doc, I respect all your qualifications and all of that. However, I'm going to see, I'm going to walk out of this office and I will be looking at you. And he looked at me like, okay, maybe this plane too, this thing is pressing on something else. But yeah, anyway. So my husband says, he looks at me like this one is insane. And he's looking at my husband and he's like, can you talk to her? And I'm serious. I said, admit me. Nobody's touching me, nobody's cutting me. I'm going to, this is going to be over. And the amazing part is, everyone I found thereafter, that was the confirmation. Don't worry, we're praying for you. This is it's gonna pass.
Amen.
And I was blessed because I have strong friends. They can, prayer warriors. So I thought, no. And never during all of it, I thought it's not gonna work. I was at peace. I was calm, and nobody could understand. But I just had this unreal sense of calm, sense of waiting. So I was admitted. Then, after the CT scan, because of the headaches, he said he wanted to relieve the pressure. So, in my prayers, I was saying to God, you can't bring me this far. You make me graduate for masters, and then you take my eyesight away. Where's this? So we had this conversation, me and God, and I said, and thereafter, I just said, okay, let it take its course. Let me wait. Maybe this is the test of my faith.
Okay.
And my husband said to me, Jenny, sometimes you need to listen to medical advice. I said, no, I'll just lie in this bed. It's going to come right. Then he came and he did a lumbar puncture.
Okay.
On the second day I was in hospital. And the fluid just gushed out like nobody's business. And the one eye opened and the vision came back in my left eye. And I turned to him and I said to him, I can see you. And he looked at me like he doesn't believe it. I said, I can see you. I can describe you. Okay, then we did the lumbar puncture and it went on. So he kept me there on blood thinners and a whole lot of medication because now he's not sure, is it a tumor? Is it blood clots? So I was treated for both, which was pretty rough. But it was like, okay, let me just endure it for now. It'll pass. Then on the 7th day, the second eye saw. Just I got up in the morning, I opened my eyes like normal. You rub your eyes and wow, I can see through both eyes. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is more than what I expected. I just said, oh God, just one eye. I could just see with one. I'd be quite happy. And 7 days, both eyes. I phoned everybody and they're like, nah, man, I'm like, I dialed your number. That tells you I can see. And no one believed it. And I walked out of that hospital. I said, the doctor even said, no, this is, he called me to the university after that to be a case presentation. And he couldn't believe it. And the thing he said is, what amazed me is him that I was just so calm. I would just smile through it all. I don't know how. I don't know how I did it, honestly. But yeah, that's it. And when I walked out of that hospital, I saw, and I'm still seeing up to today.
As we see now, you are looking at us right now. You know, our God is so
Yes.
amazing. He's so amazing. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly, far above all we can think, we can ask, or imagine,
Oh, yes.
even in our wildest
Oh,
dreams. Now you're talking about the headaches. You're also talking about how you felt when you were put through that treatment. Before we can talk about the treatment and everything, when you're talking about the headache, you're talking about symptoms. What are the symptoms for somebody who may be watching who's saying, I've been having this headache for perhaps for 2 weeks now. Perhaps they're having the same thing. What other symptoms did you experience, or according to your medical knowledge, do you think other people can experience as well?
good. Well, with me, it was just the crushing headache. It was intense. It felt like there was an elastic band around your head constantly. With other symptoms, it could be like dizziness. You could feel blurred vision.
Mhm,
You could, what else? You could have nosebleeds.
mhm.
You know, it almost feels like you have a sinus infection, here,
Oh, okay.
but you don't have any sinus problems. That's exactly like when you blow your nose, it feels like your head's gonna explode.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And how
that's
important it is for to get help immediately. How is it important? Because on your story you're talking about you've had this for 6 weeks, and by the time you walked through the doctor's office, both of your eyes were gone. The eyesight,
yeah.
they were gone. How important it is to get help early, and how can people get help?
If you have a headache, do not ignore it. No matter what it is, attend to the headache because your brain is one. You can't share it. So if you have a headache or you have eye problems, attend to it because the longer you take, those blood vessels and nerves are so sensitive.
Mhm,
As soon as you feel something, some people will think that you're being a baby.
mhm,
Attend to it. Go to your GP and explain, this is what I have and this is my fear. So they also understand where you're coming from. Have your eyes tested. That's one thing we don't do.
mhm.
Once you see there's a problem with your eyes, test them. Have your 6 months tests.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Have
thank you.
your 6 months wellness,
Well,
wellness.
yes, get checked every 6 months. Get checked
Yes.
each and every six
Yes.
months. Um, Now, when you are talking about your journey, the headaches, the admissions, people do not know that this woman. Can I just put it like that? This woman is as she has the most stubborn faith ever. Like she has the most stubborn faith ever. I have never seen a person with such stubborn faith. I worked with her during the time when she was diagnosed. And I remember there was another lady that was diagnosed with something similar. I'm not sure if it's the same or similar, who died. We heard that somebody died. She also had a brain tumor. And I was looking at this one, I'm like, why didn't you die? Not that I wanted you to die, but I mean, with everything that was happening, let me tell you about her. She would come to work with an eye patch because the eyes could not see, and she would drive herself. She would go to an ATM with blurry eyes. Like she wanted the healing by any means necessary. She believed in God for healing. And that's
Yes.
one of the things that I learned from it. And I always told you that whatever it is that I'll go through in my life, if you beat that, and you were rehabilitated, there's nothing that could take me down, because I saw it firsthand that you were stubborn enough to actually demand your healing from the enemy's camp, to say, I want it, it's mine. Jesus Christ died for me to have healing and have everything.
Yes.
Now, can you just give encouragement to somebody that would be going through the same? Because some people would be diagnosed perhaps today, or they were diagnosed a little while back. What encouragement can you give them before we can go to the encouragement of side effects? Now, what encouragement can you give to people that are diagnosed with the same, that are going, and it might not be what you were diagnosed with. Let's talk about a terminal illness. Let's talk about cancer. Let's talk about HIV. Let's talk about TB. Let's talk about COVID-19. Because we're in the season of COVID-19 right now, and when people are diagnosed, when they're given a diagnosis, sometimes they think it's a death sentence. What encouragement can you actually give to people that are going through whatever is that they are going through in terms of the medical diagnoses that they've been given?
Okay. One thing I've told myself is, we on earth, nothing is perfect. If it was perfect, we'd be in heaven, And though we are on earth, we are ambassadors for God.
Thank you.
So if you, a Christian, do not show who you are, then how will the world know God? That's my motto. If you're going through trials and tribulations, the world is watching you. No? The devil is watching you, and he's rejoicing. So my belief is, why give him one moment of pleasure? Why give him victory? There's a God that's greater than us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. So whatever you're going through, he knows. He knew you would go through it, before you were even born. He knew that you are capable of conquering it because he's there.
Come on.
So if we given as Christians, how are we going to bring people to God? And that's how you win souls. Through your trials, people say, okay, there's something greater than her that's making her win. I want to win, So that's how you win souls for God. And I always feel that when God puts you through something, he wants you to teach someone else.
Come on.
And people might think I'm insane. Even a terminal illness, yes, you might not be cured, you might not get well. It's not about that. It's how you go through it. What are you going to do in that time that you are still on earth? How are you going to win souls for God? Number one. How are you going to be ambassador for God? Because yes, he's going to welcome you home, whether when you pass on. And you'll have a glorious eternity. But in this period that's left here, what can you do for him? How can you show him that I'm your child? And like how you want people to be proud of your parent. How much more do you want them to be proud of this God that you serve? So that's what boosts me. When I was driving with one eye, people say, look at this mad woman. But for me, it was like, look at this God that's sitting on my shoulder.
Come on.
That God, he's watching my blind spot. He knows I gotta drive. He knows I gotta go to work. He's going to take care of it. And that's how I got through it. You just gotta depend. Speak it. Speak your fear. Don't keep it inside. Whatever's worrying you, speak it out. Make it into words. Then it becomes a reality. God hears, and he finds ways of bringing people to comfort you. He finds ways of, the Holy Spirit comforts you. I'm telling you, you have to experience it. That peace, it's like almost like someone's putting like a hand on your shoulder and saying, it's okay, my child, cry, deal with it, but I'm going to carry you through this. And that's the thing. Be honest, open up to God. God knows you. Don't pretend. God knows what you're going through. He knows everything. So share it with him. I have loud conversations with God, and you think it's two people in the house, because we have a live relationship. That's the thing.
I'm not even sure I'm supposed to even be emotional, but you're making me so emotional right now. You're honestly making me so emotional. So now, when you were talking about you going to the hospital with your husband, you spoke about that there were people that you called and told them, and you asked them to pray for you. How important is support to anyone that is going through whether it's brain tumor, a terminal illness, or any disease or any illness that they've been diagnosed with, or any hardship or painful circumstance. It doesn't have to be medical. It can be outside of the medical field. How important is support? We are talking now to a viewer that is knowing someone who is going through, or who has been diagnosed, or who's going through a difficult time in their lives. How important is family or friend support with regards to that?
I believe it's very important. You need you at some point. We're not all the same. We're not all strong. Some people, it's a point of make me or break me. Now, if this person doesn't have this constant reassurance, constant words of encouragement, people won't get through it. Sometimes it's not really about phoning the person. It's just saying, I'm praying for you. Or the fact that the person might not say it, but there are people out there that are bidding for you. They are praying for you daily. Those kind of things, the relationships you have with people is very important. Yes. Because somebody might say something minor and you might need to hear it at that point. For me, it was, people used to send me voice messages. So they would send like, I can't read this now, but this is what the Isaiah says, and this is how I feel. You should feel, they would tell me, I got friends that they would tell, this is how you should feel, and this is what I'm going to pray for. And that kind of like jerks you back, because you get tired. The struggle is hard. Yeah. And you need that person that just comes say, take it easy. I'm here for you. Okay. I'm fighting for you in prayer. It's the most important. And I think that has boosted me, because I have a family that they go to war. if there's something, prayer they warriors. Go to war. Yes. So I'm blessed with that. So, do you need it? Everybody needs it. As soon as you hear someone's going through something, take your time, take time back and say, how can I pray for, how can I make this better for somebody? Because I promise you, when you go through it, God will send people, to say. By me, it was the weirdest thing. It was people from somewhere, that we didn't believe in the same God, but somehow they felt their God will also pray for me. So respect people, choices, but in their way, they praying for you. So yeah, it's very important, I think. Wow. That's how you get through it.
Wow. Now, did you have any operations whilst you were admitted, or from the time you were diagnosed to the time you were declared cured? Did you have any operations?
I just had the operations on my eye.
Okay.
But they were like laser thing.
Okay.
They like had
not
to,
something hectic.
No, not hectic, but very painful, very sensitive. So it would be like, you can do it, but if you do it, you're going to lose this little bit of sight that you already got. And then I think, you're looking at my face. I'm like, you didn't give me the sight, so you can't control it. Just do it. And yeah, so I had like 3 laser, to cut off the bleeding.
Now, vessels. Do you understand when I said she has stubborn faith? Like, who tells doctors like so stubbornly and so bold, and like she's so courageous? Her life, her entire life, it's a life of courage, of boldness, and of trust in God. That's who she is, and that's why I love her so much. Now you were talking. When you were relating your story, you spoke about the treatment that you went through, the side effects, everything. It was just, can I use the term bad? Everything, it was just blown out of proportion. Now we have people who might be watching us who are on a certain treatment, and that treatment is making them have these nasty side effects, and they feel that, you know what, I do not want to take this treatment anymore. It's not working out. Instead, it's making me more sick. What advice can you give to those people in terms of hold on, in as much as you feel now that the treatment is making you more sick, but at the end the outcome will be very good? What advice can you give to those people?
My advice is, if you are on treatment, take the treatment.
Thank
You
you.
know, it's something foreign. It's going to react with your body, but it's there for a reason. It's take it, endure it. It's just, you're not going to take it forever, you know. And even if it's forever, your body will get used to it eventually. And what you're going through, it will pass, you know. Try and find ways of making it easier. So I used to take medication that would make me ill. So I used to like get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, take them, and then sleep. So that when I get up at 5 for work, I've slept some of it off. So when I get to work, I'm more myself. So you find ways of taking precautions of or making it more comfortable. Speak to your doctor, see if I do it this way, it works for my body. Does it work for the illness? Have that open relationship with the doctor. Then take your treatment. I'm a nurse. Don't stop treatment, first of all. No matter how clever you are, no matter how you feel that, yes, it doesn't work. It's there for a reason, you know. Take it. Never stop your treatment. Never stop it without telling the medical staff that it's not working for you. So you can find ways of adapting to taking it.
Now, with a faith like that and with a story or a journey like that, is there a book in the pipeline, like, or a blog or anything? Is there something in the pipeline where you would share your story unlimited, because now you're sharing your story, we only have like 30 minutes, but now it will be unlimited. Anyone can get hold of you, can read or can watch or can engage. That's the term that I'm looking for. Can engage with you through. So is there a book in the pipeline?
Not at the moment. I know that question, but yeah, no, not at the moment. Not a blog, Yeah, I haven't thought of a blog, but yeah, no, a book takes a lot of work. So at the moment, no.
Okay, but it will come. I've always asked you about it ever since
I know.
2016 to say you cannot go through so much because, like I told you, to our viewers that I saw her. Like I saw her, and what I saw, it was just a tip of an iceberg because there were things that she was going through that we didn't see, but we only saw a lot. Yet it was only a tip of an iceberg. And I always asked her, you have to write a book. Like, honestly, I want to read your book. I need to read your book because sometimes, your book can be what you call these things a mantra. Perhaps it's like a mantra where you like, this is who I am. This is my belief. This boosts my faith and everything. So I always asked her about that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask you as well for the world to know, are you coming up with a book or anything? And I'll still ask you, and I'll still ask you in the coming days, honestly. Each and every time I say, like, is there a book coming up? I want to read a book. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, our time is almost up. Thank you so much for gracing us today, for joining us and saying yes to being our guest. If people do you have social media platforms or that people can?
Not really. No. You know me.
No, I had to ask that question. I honestly had to ask it in as much as I know that you only have WhatsApp, but I had to ask it
Yes.
for our viewers because if I didn't ask it, people like, but we want to talk to her. Anyway, if you want to talk to her, you can talk to her through me, through this channel.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
I will relay the message and then I will be the middleman, I'll be the
Yes.
postman. I will be that. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Genny, for your story. Thank you so much for overcoming, for conquering. You did it for all of us, and you also did it for other people that are not diagnosed yet, or they haven't been through the fiery fires yet, you conquered for us all. And I would honestly love to say thank you so much again for sharing your story with us today. I'll just give you like a few minutes to say goodbye to our viewers.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to share my story.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing your good work. Hey?
Thank you so much from me, Mesh Madolo. Until we meet again on another episode, be blessed and stay safe. Bye.